generation,
perfect.
Exactly.
Yes, I
Coming
think
from
first
DK2
generation.
era and stuff like that, this is like freaking magic.
Yeah, I guess we're just too biased. We're too.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
This is
no,
gonna
I,
be
I
nice.
would
second on
enjoy it.
DK1.
I just don't want to spend my
Loving
money
Mm.
and then like half a year later want to sell it or get something that cost more or equal to as far as operational costs are concerned and end up wasting my money. Now, I'm not saying that I would not enjoy it at all. I just don't want to like buy a graphics card before the 1080 came out, right?
Mm.
Only to then have Pascal cards out and not have a Pascal card. So this is the best way to explain it.
I get you. Unfortunately, the difference though is this is the first time this has ever happened, and we can think
Exactly.
about graphics cards and how
Exactly.
that
I understand.
price point
And
and
I
how that's going to
understand.
work.
I understand what you mean about technology, because I was thinking about upgrading to a 1080, or 1080 or 1080 Ti, but I'm wondering how the second generation of Rift, 'cause I'll probably get a Rift, will handle that. If I will be able to
It'll
use
be
it to its
another 2
maximum
years for next
capability.
headsets, I heard.
Oh
doesn't
dear.
matter,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, it would be hard
I
to.
guess.
It's definitely not this year.
I'll
Next
just go and
year,
buy
It's not going to be this
there's
year.
no way.
It probably
There's no way Oculus is going to release next.
Yeah.
Like,
it may be
But
next
Palmer
year,
said,
but
didn't he
it's
say
going to be
something
like
like every 3 years, 4 years, something like that, 4 years?
that,
Between the phone and the console, he
yeah,
said, right?
they were guessing around that.
Yeah.
and also, the speed could increase, or maybe it would be. I think it'd be super. That's just
Yeah.
another
Tech's going to be different in the next
complication in
one.
this whole
No.
thing.
Wish we had upgradable hardware.
Not yet. No,
yeah.
I mean it's all beginning, man. There's no.
I
Basically,
know.
you're gonna have to spend and waste money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
There's no way you
I
can
learned
make
that
this
with-
as light.
I learned it with phones, mobile phones, and they were coming out so often that, like, eventually I have
Yeah.
to just jump in and get one right. At some point, it's going to become obsolete, right? So,
Every year you're going to get a new iPhone.
phones are
Yeah.
every year.
yeah, it's a bit
Consoles
different,
are like
but
every 6 years. I don't know what is it?
something like that.
That's way too long. 4 to 6 years is way too much. Rob a bank.
I mean, if you're looking
litigate.
for a cheap headset, you
Sell
don't want to
drugs.
spend too much. The Rift is fine.
Mm.
Actually, I prefer the Rift most of the time because of how light and the controllers are solid. Actually, one of the things that you'll see a lot of Vive users end up breaking their controllers on this program because of the way the movement system works.
Oh yeah,
There's a
or we had to
refresh
fix one
to
already.
for the Vive coming. That might be what you want.
Yeah.
Like with the
If you're gonna
extra
get a Vive, boy.
headphones and the new strap, maybe you do the wireless thing along with it. Like that's next.
Yeah, I heard
generation
they
stuff
are
in
going
there.
with wireless Revive.
Well, no, there's something you can buy.
Cats or something like that, right?
Keep cash. You add it to that,
Cash.
and now it's
Okay,
wireless.
okay.
Don't get that in
So you'll-
China,
You
though.
can buy
and with,
with the
like-
Best Buy and try it for 14 days.
Well, that's a good
That's a
idea.
good
There you
idea.
go.
Wait for a
Nothing
sale
to
too.
lose.
Shit like that.
Well, I've
It's
actually
like
got the money
600.
on me right now. That's the funny thing.
The best way to
I mean, if you got
believe
the
is to
computer-
try it, right? You need
Yeah.
to try it.
It'll at least be good for a year. I can guarantee you that.
2 years, I
Um,
think you'll get at least 2 years.
I mean,
Probably-
I think
you
you got a
probably
decision
will get
between
2
the
years
Vive
out of it.
and the Rift as well. I think that's a hard choice.
I just want to say there is absolutely no way this conversation could be biased towards getting a headset. Now, could it?
No.
We're
You
VR
have to get a
fans. We're going to
headset.
recommend you getting a
What are you
headset.
talking about?
I'm
We're
just
trying to
joking.
help you, brother.
I know.
We're trying to show you the light. It depends on if it's valuable enough.
You could sell it. You could sell it
Oh.
after. It would still be worth some money, right? In 2 years. Time.
It'd have to be at least worth a good bit, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a
Everybody who
little
doesn't wanna
difficult-
spend
it
the
is a little
full price
different
for
because
the
of how new.
gen.
Sometimes the new one might not. Stick
I think the
around,
new one's
value
going to
might
be
as
somewhere
much.
around about 500, 600, around the same price again. But
It really
I
depends.
mean, the
what
old.
is
I mean, the
released.
first one might not. It'll still, sell, but I don't know if it'll sell like other new things that then you resell to get the next new thing, because this is so new. This is so first one.
So Windows is about to actually enter this space,
know.
but I
That's true.
haven't seen any
And there's
solution
actually-
for motion controllers from them. So, and like the limitation of the refresh rate of the
Connect.
display. It
See,
seems like
one
a
thing with
ugly way
Oculus,
to do
like
tracking.
and the Opti tracking, yeah, it's not. It's inferior to Lighthouse, totally. But what about someday? They really get these opticals down. Like if it could just, and if it's inside out, then it can just see everything. You don't then have to put trackers on everything.
That's
If
going to
it's
be
That's
the
ideal.
end all
Learning.
solution.
And,
Straight
well,
up eye, no mounting.
they have that middle solution where it is inside out. That's coming. That's part of between the gear and
Little-
between the high
Like
and wrist where you put
HoloLens?
tethered, like HoloLens.
Yeah, actually, the
That
tech
is
they're
where
using for
they're-
that is basically the HoloLens tech on VR device for the Windows.
Yeah.
They did at one point.
Yes.
But that's what you saw was like a fabrication. That really isn't how it is.
Yeah, it was
So.
a demo for a stage demo, not a.
The field of view
Real
is supposed
life
to be
use
quite
case.
small as well, right?
It's
It's
ridiculous.
like imagine this bunch of Minecraft world behind this sign, right? It's all there, but you can only see that much, whatever that little sign.
Mm.
You have to
Like-
move your head around and look at the rest of it.
Like if you
Kinda
open
like-
your.
What
It's kind of like this.
What year do you
Well, for
think
now, but the
the
tracking's
VR
good,
really
though.
takes off? What year do you think VR will take off? Do you
It's
think
really hard to
it'll be
tell.
slow?
It seems like there's a counterculture of it. Like, I see a lot of people bitching, "Oh, well, it's not successful because it's not where I want it to be," and they're all asking for stuff that's going to be pretty hard to pull off with the tech nowadays.
What do you mean take off too? How many people is taking off?
Yeah, I mean,
I
what we
guess
have at the
become
moment,
mainstream.
Right, mainstream. What's a million PSVR users, right? Would it be about a
I
million?
mean, mainstream to
combined
all
HTC and-
people, or tech, you know, it's like
Yeah,
a
it's
tech
a-
device. So, I mean, you know, you gotta kind of, I guess like
guess it's
mainstream,
hard
like a
to define.
PlayStation
It's
or
not-
something.
Like how
Yeah.
smartphones blew up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's different. It's different. Right?
2026.
2026. Specific.
It might take.
That's where the advice came from.
no mic is from the future.
I am.
This is telling us.
These technologies, anyway, they kind of have an exponential growth. Did you see Vision? I think it was Vision. No, it was a Unity conference, right? A few years
Vision
ago.
Summit. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about the growth basically. It will be disappointing at the beginning, and we will see that kind of growth happen somewhere around 2020. That's where
I was gonna say
we
20.
hit that
yeah.
curve. Yeah.
That's what they're predicting. Doesn't mean it's going to go that
Yeah.
way, but
Not
2026.
PlayStation.
Oh.
Not PlayStation Mass, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a slow crawl. It's not going to be as fast as they're predicting, but it'll probably get up there in numbers. If it's just ends up being like what the
Is it because you think like VR is so hard to convey to people, right? So people need to try it, and that is one of obviously the biggest obstacles, right?
that is the biggest obstacle
oh, I
and
have
the
the
money.
answer. No, the biggest
False.
obstacle is
No?
the form factor. When the form factor
Form
is
factor,
small
yeah.
enough, that's when it's
Okay.
adopted. And because everything else would be good enough if they won't reduce the form factor to that
Yeah.
level without it all still being good.
I think the biggest barrier to entry is price, dude.
I don't know.
Price will get dealt with. That'll get dealt with.
Yeah.
They're dealing with price. They're dealing with it, but that's what's slowing it down right now.
Well, right now it's very super early, so that's.
I saw a news report like in the 1990s, from the 1990s. It was the one about VR
Computers were
systems
very
costing
expensive.
like $200,000 for a good, which is now crappy VR system at the time.
Yeah.
So
But
you know,
those
you can
were,
see
like,
the
almost-
technology is really.
A lot of those were one shots. Like
Mm.
maybe like 100 of those exist of that
Okay,
model
yeah.
or something, and like
VR is the biggest it's ever been, right? So, yeah, people
Yeah, oh, yeah,
say
sure.
people say the hype has kind of died down a bit, but it's still growing from what I'm aware of.
And what are you talking about? Money. It's not. It's expensive, but it's not. When I was in high school, computers were a lot of money.
Yeah. computers.
Man, I
Yes,
was
it wasn't
poor,
until
but we used to.
3,000 for a Pentium 3 PC in the 90s.
Wow,
There you go.
exactly.
I paid like 2,600. Yeah. So that's how much it took to get into the computer game. You're not getting in under 2,000. And how many people? Well, not how many, but a lot of people bought it, and they bought crappy dial-up modems, and they spent per minute to use the internet. And because it's really important. It's really useful.
all the kids would
and
hack the phone system.
It still
to get
sucks
cheap
too,
access.
but You could talk to anybody around the world, kind of thing. Well, now you're going to be able to feel like you're with somebody all around the world. So that'll catch on at some point.
Remember
And if it's
payphones?
point clouds, I do remember
Yeah.
payphones. When I see a payphone,
I haven't.
I
seen
go
one
and
in
use them
years.
when I see them, and I do this thing I used to since I was a kid. I dial up, 1-800 whatever numbers you want, and then like fuck or like sexy or like any
Me too,
kind
lol.
of dirty thing. They're all there. You just type it in, and boom, it's a hey baby, you want to talk to your desired blah blah blah. All you need is to spend money, and you got to pay him money, but to call the actual
Those are
number
freaking
is free.
perfect,
And
dude.
so
Do
I
you
loved
have,
it when
like,
we were kids.
arm
I'd be
tap
like
to it, or is it
giggling
just-
No, it's
because
just
there was no internet
Yes.
with pornography when I was.
'Cause I wasn't sure how
That
to
age.
map
It
the
was fun.
bones out correctly. 'cause
And so I
there's,
like to do it
20
now
bones.
still. I
So I was like,
tell my
I'll
wife,
just have 'em all
hold on, I gotta go use this payphone. Hey, come here, check it out,
Warden,
and make her
Warden,
listen to it.
Angela Robinson.
And she just thinks
See
I'm
how
dumb.
picking this stuff up?
But
It's
I
hard
really
to
Yeah,
like
fix
imagine.
it
Like,
now.
well, it's
Okay,
kind of hard
yeah,
to
you have
imagine
your-
already what it was like before Google and kind of
I am-
payphones and
I am
how we
consumed
communicated
into my
with
body.
people. Just the payphones. It's just mobile phones. It's just a massive difference the way we organize and things, right? It's just it's kind of amazing how far we've come in just a few years.
Yeah, that's the stuff that you take that and you think that's gonna happen and everything, but so much has happened. The thing that makes me think it's like all this technology came together to where I think VR could happen now. And just mobile phones being probably the big one, the internet being how it is a really big deal, and blah blah blah, a bunch of other things. So I wonder, in like say 4 years, there's this curve, but what will tie into it maybe that will give it a bigger push? And I wonder, like, or maybe it's AR that I'm then actually talking about. Like, what is it
Yeah.
that it's gonna, like AI, for example? AI then will be a part of your AR, and will like knowing where you're looking is pretty cool, and that helps advantage making it less power to run it, because it just renders mostly where you're looking, and all little kinds of little tricks and devices and software and stuff. All that stuff's evolving. So it's when that stuff comes together, it's the like, what? Can't believe that's possible. The magic. I don't know.
I think
the internet's
it's definitely.
blockchains and bitcoins, and I don't know, man, like identity and VR.
I have a
and so we're talking about
question.
a blockchain chain tying into that. It's really crazy.
Does porn actually drive technology?
I don't think porn's driving this.
Yeah.
Porn is not
Mm,
driving
no.
VR, that's for sure.
Me neither.
Not yet. Not yet.
If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong on this, but some of the first instances of VR actually were pornographic. Remember the old viewfinders,
Mm.
right? Well, they
I think
actually made
you-
a pornographic version of that.
Well, it goes
Well,
way
they-
back if you want to go that
You're
far.
talking
Yeah,
about
it's true, isn't it?
stereoscopic
Way
viewer.
Stereoscopic,
Yeah, stereoscopic viewers.
Yeah.
Those aren't
In like
exactly
the 20s
VR.
and 30s.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but it's kind
Today,
of the
first
same
thing you
concept.
see.
it's not growing
Yeah,
up
it's-
today.
I don't know. Like,
Before there was
I feel
VR,
like if you
seeing
keep
that
It's
would
always
be.
there, but does it drive it?
Right.
I
I think it's
don't
been an
think so.
influence, but I don't think it's going to drive it.
Social VR,
Well,
I think
it's
that's why
definitely-
Facebook got into it.
that's
That's
what I
why
think it is.
that's where it's going. Yeah.
Porn
Oh,
is
yeah,
definitely this, more of a isolated thing, and I don't think people are worried about VR being isolating. So I think it's definitely going to be driven by not isolation.
Let
things.
me ask you a question. Is teledildonics
Oh god.
prostitution considered legal or illegal
It's legal
in
That would be
VR?
legal.
in VR. It's
100%,
legal.
right?
100%.
And-
Not
and
you
you
can't
can-
do it here in VR chat unless you go to a private room, but yeah.
All right. Well,
And
And
is
probably
it
that wouldn't be
considered
allowed, but
cheating?
nobody would know.
Lol.
Yeah, is it considered cheating?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no standard for that. You just have to talk to your significant other. Depends on what.
I had this conversation with my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now, a few years ago about the whole kind of VR thing and what will happen around, this kind of idea and cheating and kind of.
Yes, you have no
um,
arms.
It's really interesting, topic. But of course, it's going to
So
cause some
many
problems,
factors,
right?
Yeah, you're gonna spend all
Of course
your
it will.
time, hanging out with whatever, something not your
And
wife.
money.
and
It is a new
That's
avatar.
not nice.
Mm.
And
Remember seeing it
GK.
before?
What to say?
But it could be. It
People
can
don't
also
need
be healthy too. It doesn't
pornographic
have to-
activities in here to be doing like
Indeed.
giving emotional stuff. I've already seen this shit happening in VR chat.
Trust me, I've
Two
seen it
people
too.
getting connected, feeling the magic.
Well, feeling
Okay,
magic and stuff, and having like, you know, the cuddling and shit, dude.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I seen that, and I seen two people meeting at the bar that were talking offline to, you know, I believe they were. One was definitely an older guy, and I think the woman was as well. And that was cool. It was like make sense for them too.
Wait, they met in person or
You
in
know, they were
VR?
there.
It's on me.
I don't know
Well,
anything
sort of.
happened after, but they
no,
were
it's,
sort of dating or
one.
sort of meeting each other,
Just
sort
one.
of getting to know each other like that. I don't know what's happened or anything.
Now,
Oh,
what the fuck?
I don't have it.
Now, is that considered?
you know, you hit
is
a
that
button.
considered?
Pop out.
Armor.
Let me ask you a question. Now, if you're seeing somebody in VR, is that considered really dating, or is that
Well,
like
if you get
fake?
rigged, just put two fingers there. And you could
But people have long distance relationships already. From
Is that
Yeah,
if you've
yeah,
never
you-
physically
It
touched
already
them
kinda,
before?
like,
Is that
opened the
is that really a
closest line
relationship?
forward.
Yeah.
you can have an emotional
this is gonna
relationship
tell.
with someone
See why-
that you kind of connect to. You can. I've experienced it.
I mean, so you were raised with
and I did meet them,
somebody.
and yeah.
Mhm.
Someone
And-
on
and
here
then,
once
like, you
said, "If it feels real, it's real."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in reality,
You can't be
it's just a
friends.
question
Oh
of-
man, I'd
actually,
be friends with so
no.
many people. That's
Shit,
kind of.
shit, Gunter.
You're done.
I've met Gunner. I've met Gunner
That's-
before.
But we were
Gunter are
here
good
for many
friends.
years before we met.
I'm
I mean, I want to meet
didn't-
everybody.
We didn't
I'm
do
your
any of
friend,
this,
though.
but we, you know,
Yeah, I've got to know.
I mean, I
people
guess
on
what
the
was your
internet
level of
before,
friendship?
and-
You know, maybe you think
Yeah.
hold friendship to something, you know, higher. Or see where I'm looking at you. Yeah. How long have you been here? How long have you been spending your time here? I've been doing 4 years.
Probably been
Not
here
If
for
it's a
3.
real-time scan of
Been
Gunter,
here 3.
how long have I been here? Two,
I would say something like that.
or maybe
Well, I mean, if
This
you
isn't a video game.
if you've got to know
It is
someone,
to, yeah.
if you've got to know someone over VR chat on the internet and you've met them in real life after, were they the person you expected them to be? You know,
Pretty much.
what I found is when I spoke to people and they're honest, it was like we always knew each other, right? It was like that. It was like so
Just
I
the
don't see
appearance
why you
was
can't.
like some people
get
thought I was an
genuine-
Asian person, looked like
Oh,
an
yeah,
Asian, but I didn't.
lol.
But nothing else was.
That one avatar
I
from
mean,
your old show.
the voice is, you know, a big deal.
This is exactly how I look in real life.
If we ever met in real life, you'd have to, you know,
You can make genuine
speech then
connections.
too.
Right? Yeah.
I've met multiple
Yes.
people from VR chat,
Yeah.
and like
Mm.
So you're
they're
very
basically the people I expected. Of course, I knew them
Yeah.
outside of VR
Indeed.
chat too.
Mm.
When it came to like, we didn't just talk in
This
VR
is
chat.
me. This is my 3D scan.
I'll meet you one day, Gunter.
Absolutely. I mean, the reason I did this is I started this meetup here years ago, and loved it. I wanted to meet more friends, have more friends. Most of my friends are older; they're have kids, they're doing something else, or they're further away. And once they have VR, I'll be really happy because then we can hang out more. But you know, that's how it is. I can take this off and go home. I'm here, and I go to bed in 5 minutes.
Mm.
And you can't do that when you go visit your friends. It takes at least, you know, like an hour or half an hour traveling.
I think-
Well, depends
yeah.
on the circumstance.
I was thinking about when VR advances and we get more senses incorporated into our experience. Does it really matter if you kind of experience something? Why is it less of a value to experience something in VR then at that point than it does in real life? That physical.
No, it doesn't. But I
right.
mean, I guess
It
'cause
doesn't matter.
you're not having that
You ex-
experience that you're wanting though. Like if the experience doesn't
Mm.
live up to what you want, I mean, then no.
That's
Yeah.
practically what they said at the beginning of The Matrix.
You experience the world through your senses, right? And so if you can.
I guess all of our
um,
senses aren't here. Yeah, that's what I.
Exactly. So
I think
When
for
it's
some
all
people
here,
there
yeah,
might
when
be a
it's-
slight disconnect.
yeah.
Who wants
Um,
smell-o-vision?
What is existing, man? We can go down this rabbit hole, and
Well, I was
if
thinking.
you think you
like, it wa-
exist, well,
That's what the other conversation was boiling into.
That's-
In terms of like
Well,
the smell and things like that,
I
I
don't
think
mean that.
it's kind of important. I mean, it would be great if we could walk along a beach or something in VR and kind of smell the ocean and things like that. And you kind of create memories through smell as well, right?
Sure.
It's an important
Did
part.
you try that
You can
Japanese demo?
Yeah,
for smell-o-vision?
I did smell.
Did you try to smell her?
Yeah, I smelled a woman.
Yeah,
in
I was
like,
there. I
you were
smelled
there.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee, chocolate, and what do you think a woman scent smells like when they ask you to lean into her and smell
Apparently,
her?
like the fat dude's belly or whatever. You're right next to.
No, it smelled. It was perfume, of course, but you know when you hear.
Oh,
You
they
hear the
actually
story
had
across
perfume
the-
for her?
Yeah, it was just
I didn't think she
perfume,
had a
man. It
smell
wasn't
or whatever.
like her dirty panties or something, which is what the.
Not yet, at least.
You're like, what? Not at the conference. That you gotta
You gotta pay
have
extra
that
for
back in Japan.
Yeah.
There's companies from Japan. It's very wild and it's very fun.
Y-
You
y-
pick up
y-
right
y-
here. Pick up the cup of coffee like this, and then when I bring it
Japan
into my
is
nose,
interesting.
I'm smelling coffee because there's like 3 little scent things in them, and it's blowing a little bit of air this way.
You know,
And
I
I
hate
put
to
that
say
down,
it,
and I go
that
drop
will,
the chocolate bar.
that will never come to fruition. I mean, it's a great idea. It's really cool, but there's no way in the hell that's gonna go anywhere.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
not
it's
interested
just so
until.
it's so ridiculous. But
It's
like,
horribly impractical, and I imagine that stuff is
Too
like.
practical.
But let's think about the
People
internet.
use
That was
programming
pretty
things like
impractical in the
control.
80s,
Yeah.
and now it's our life.
Well,
Yeah, people will
do you
never
mean?
fly
What was the point?
airplanes, you know.
No.
It would just take
Like,
What else do we do?
It's like David
We'll
looking
never
for
go-
the
It's just
watch TV.
it's what we're doing right now. It's just amazing.
We'll never
like,
go
we're all
to
in
the
this
moon.
space together, moving, like we're here.
Not only that,
what part of
It's
the world are you
mind-blowing.
coming from, Will?
Wales, UK.
Oh, okay.
Wales in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So
if it wasn't for this program, most of us would probably have never met, and that's
That's
like
very
without a
true.
doubt.
we take these things for granted very quickly once we have them.
well, and a lot of times the people I met here have been similar ages, similar mindsets. So that's extremely valuable, especially in these earlier days. Like it's
Yeah.
not just a bunch of kids and just gamers. They're people that friends I wanted to have that aren't around me. And
And
accessible.
Firebird, I still love that those
My-
arms.
My level of happiness in life has greatly increased because of this place.
Yeah.
Have you checked out that avatar, Gunter? Hey, Firebird, could you
No,
come over
I
here?
love it.
Come over here. Like, check it out.
Let me stand up. Love it.
warning, warning. Danger will rise.
Warning.
What's great is we had two robots from two different
exterminate, and then I was like,
science
oh,
fiction stuff.
what's going on?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, you know what? That was a good
uploading
idea,
more Star
opening
Trek,
up a
Star
room to
Wars, 'cause
public, because it filled up a lot more. And even though there was trolls, the trolls kind of added to the show because
Sometimes
it
they
added
do.
excitement to the show. Yeah,
Yes.
even though they were
I
saying
agree.
ridiculous things. But I wouldn't
The
even
thing I
do.
don't want
I
to
wouldn't
do
even
is
edit.
edit.
long
I
as
don't
the
want.
internet
I don't.
exists,
Yeah,
there will
I
always be
probably
trolls.
won't edit it. I don't
Don't edit. Yeah.
like editing. I don't like Kenny editing because it takes time and he's got a gig during the day with Vision. I like doing it live, and the goal is to what's done live is good to go.
Just call it Gunter Raw.
Cut to universe raw, and of course it's like
Yeah.
diagonal, like stamped on,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah. Well, I do. I like it to be
Yeah.
like that. I don't like it to be all curated. I think everybody.
Yeah, I was about to say, and other people, but okay. See ya.
Good night, cause.
Is it me that
Cheers.
his
Come
head is
back.
messed
Keep
up?
coming back.